So this job here we're at is my cousin down here in Eglinton. We are taking it out of his cow tank, robot tank. There's robots in this unit. So at the moment we're dropping this tank. He has one tank over in the far unit that has the tank's down about a level. So we're pumping here about 120, 150 meters. So the return pipe is coming from here and going over to his ore unit. So I'm just going to go and take a wee video to show you the product, but you have to admit there is some solids coming out that end of that pipe. That is stand clear. So at the moment she's running there at about 120 cube to the hour because my return, she's literally pumping the liquid solids, kind of really good, really happy with her. The mold control is some job, help fill up the trailers, so definitely a great job. So we, at the first time we started here, we were pumping it from one tank to the next, but we filled that up and he said we'll recirculate it a bit, so whenever he goes to mix it, it would be handy. So this is the material coming back to the tank. As you can see, there's no build-up of material here, which means that the separator's taking out all the fibre, leaving a great job. Another ounce of fibre, fantastic job. So at the minute we're circulating this tank, so we're taking out at that end and pumping it back this end. As I say, the tank that we were pumping out of, there was a tank that he had empty up there, so we filled that, and then he says we'll circulate this because it makes, firstly they allow for more room, and then secondly then it was to mix, whenever he goes to mix it, he would have an easy mix, and also whenever he goes to spread slurry, there'd be no fibre or less fibre. But to be fair, that is what we started with today, and that is what we're dropped out of the tank, these solids. So you hardly even hear her going, like I just heard that they're normal, us walking beside her. Brilliant job. At the minute they were running about 120 cube to the hour. But don't get me wrong, it's still fluffy, but you could wring it out 5 times more than that. It literally blows out of the trailer before it even gets into it. So I asked John if he wouldn't mind. At the end of the day, he's wanting to see real life, so I asked John, have a chat with him to see what he thinks the reason behind it, the benefits. At the end of the day, we're all on the same page, so we might as well try and see what the best option would be. So John's happy to do it for me, so I'll see if I can get him cornered here. To meet there as well, we managed to, you hook a tractor off, she runs away and then allows us to go and move, reel up the next pipe or reel out the next pipe, so you're kind of ready to go if you decide to move the next tank or pump further. Or good job, mate, definitely. So 30 day the day, but to be fair, for that kind of job is perfect. I really like it. I think it's brilliant. Of course, like everything, there's pros and minuses, but like the way she's running there, at the end of the day, we pumped from this tank here over to another tank, filled it up and then brought it back again. And then whenever we brought it back, we were circulating it, so we were just working it out there roughly. So she was running there for about 2.5 hours, and we done a measurement on the far girder, and she roughly dropped down about 10 inches so she roughly saved about 10 inches of capacity. Only reason we went for 2.5 hours is because we wanted to move over to this far tank here and pump it over. So we have a pile of room. We're saving ourselves massively on the amount of the capacity of the tanks. As you can see, I took samples earlier on. Absolutely very, very little, if not the zero fibre coming out through the screens. I think there's 0.2s on her. Like the idea being, we could draw that. At the minute, we're drawing that fibre that material further away. We're sending it to the further away ground. Hoping to see if it, whenever we have to come and do slurry here, he's hoping to not have to cart it as far away. And then today, it's coming onto the stage of our nitrate plan here of the soil analysis, and it's getting to the stage where if we can't pump it, or if it comes to the stage and they come back and say, look, say we had 3 plots of ground, A, B and C, if it turns at the point that they say, right, A is far too high in P and K, potash, phosphate, and they say you have to reduce the amount of slurry you spread per acre, you could go back in and say, well look, we've separated this, we've took out X, Y and Z of our P and K. It's a more stronger concentrated nitrogen. It should allow us to, firstly, the nitrogen that's returning back to the tank will be at a stronger consistency. So we believe that you won't have to spread as much of it. You will be able to send your P and K for the likes of your arable ground, your whole crop, your maize. You leave this here for your grass ground, your silage ground, and hey, it's not lie about it. Like the fibre is going back onto the ground with a double bar is a bloody disaster, because it's going under the ground. It's then being mowed off again, brought straight back in the silage, and it is a disaster if that's the case. We've had it, at the end of the day, it's there. Splash plating gets away with that, but it is going to come to the stage where we can't splash plate it no longer. So that there absolutely eliminates the chances of fibre coming back in. And our benefit, my slurry is too thick, the contractor's coming. Firstly, you better dilute the slurry, because our volumes that we can pump per hour is massively increased because of that. When it's massively increased, it means that we're putting more out per hour. When we're putting more out per hour, it means the farmer's benefiting because we're there per hour. So where you get anything from thick slurry, we could be right down as far as 18, 16. At 16,000 gallons an hour, no point even spreading any longer, because it's going to cost you more than what we're actually getting out. And 4-inch pipe, you could get run right up there. It's got to 30, 34, 35,000 gallons of there. Ideally, if you're anywhere near 28, 25, 28, 30, you're at a happy amount there, what you're pumping out. That rain falling there now this is all being, this will save our cousin here and our uncle massively on their volume. So this will make them have a lot more comfort. They're not going to rush out as soon as the slurry ban opens to spread, because they're going to have that bit of room, bit of credit sitting there for them. Another reason being, I'll get back to the pros of it, is dung, whole crop, all likes slower nutrient release. So that covers away that. The farmer, we can do this in any time of year or any conditions. So it means that when the weather opportunity comes about, the contractor isn't absolutely going mad to try and get it out for you as fast as possible. So it means that we're not as much rush. You'll make more use out of your nitrogen, because you'll be fit to test your tank, have a steady consistency, and then believe it or not, I do think that you'll notice that you'll need a lot less on per gallon or per acre to get the same results. Far faster reaction time as well. Like if you double barred that right into the ground, you would, like the difference between it, like we have done it already with our stationary separator at the plant, and absolutely the difference on it day and night. Now everything has to have a disadvantage. The disadvantage that we really would notice of was when you spread it, because there's no fibre material in it, it is a lot harder to stay on the ground. So if there was a flush of rain or anything like that, it will wash. There is no getting away from that. You have to allow for that. But if you go with less consistency or less amount on the ground, it nearly dyes the soil. So if you put it on in two lighter applicated twice less rather than one big application, it would it definitely probably would take out the chance of it being washed off. Another reason, a lot of farmers don't have arable. They're like, I don't want all that there fibre, all that content in my yard. That's nothing but torture and hassle for me. Fair enough, completely can see where they're coming from as well. So my alternative to that would be contact local arable farmer. Them guys will be mad for that. Or an AD, an anaerobic digester. And digester would be, they'll feed that again. They'll repeat the whole cycle again. They'll get an extra bit of methane out of that there fibre. So it's hard to, maybe some guys don't really want to go down the option of having to contact people and rely on. We're happy to do so. So say if you're a farmer and you're like, look, I like that idea. I'd like to get rid of the fibre. I would like to increase my volume. If I get rid of that, means that I'll not have to panic to get rid of the slurry whenever the ban period opens. Get in contact with ourselves. Like as I say, the proof's in the pudding. Like look at the material going up that belt. You know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'll see if I can chat to my cousin, and hopefully he'll show his part of it as real life. So he is a lovely robot system here. Cows are milking very well. Tanks pumping out. As you see yourself, there's zero fibre coming back, or very, very little. So to get you the true figure, I'll ask John, the cousin, and if he doesn't like it, he'll tell you he doesn't like it, and if he does like it, this is his opinion. John, why you got me to do this today?
Well, our tanks would have held to the beginning of February anyway, but have been pretty tight, and you never know what the weather's going to be like in a month's time. So called you in here now, pick this stuff out, separate it, and it'll give us a bit more storage. We'll not be rushing out the start of February trying to get stuff on the ground when we shouldn't be. And also we'll take the separated material up to barley ground and maize ground, which is a wee bit too far away to cart slurry to, and that we'll get an analysis done on it now, and that should be a good benefit for the barley ground as well.
So you use the separated solids you've used for it?
We grow a bit of barley here and a bit of maize, so we'll put that onto the barley ground, and that'll be used up the road.
But if you didn't really need it, you probably would have a couple of local or say if you didn't do the arable side of it, you probably would have boys you could ring or say here.
Well, it's bound to be good. I'll know better when I get the analysis back, but it's bound to be good stuff. So I would say there'll be plenty of boys looking for it if you wanted to get rid of it.
Capacity wise, now we've took this fibre out of us, you'd say, has it give you much more time? No,
well, that's what I say. I know we'll not be rushing out now in the 1st of February. Well, no need to. We'll hold off maybe. Well, we'll just play here by the weather, and if the weather's favourable, we'll think about it. If not, maybe wait till the middle of February or towards the end of February and try and get as much use out of it as possible.
Do you think you'll probably get a bit more benefit out of it then?
Well, I don't see why not. And also, as you boys come in and do our slurry on the first cut anyway, there'll be less stuff to cart out. So it shouldn't take you as long.
So really, would you be paying next of a contractor or else you should be benefiting that further down the line, really?
Well, especially the further draws. If you have to put on 3 or 3,500 gallons an acre slurry, I'm not sure what the figure's going to be, but it's definitely going to be less anyway. On the drum bar or trail and shoe actually should work better. So
faster release
and back into the ground and not sitting on the ground. I never had any bother carting it back in on silage, but I have seen it in grazing ground where I put it on and have a really heavy rain and it's still there. You see it sitting on top of the grass.
Well, what about this nutrient plan? So you're a nutrient plan and these soil analysis come back and they tell you, say you have a block right beside your yard, it's far too high of P and K. How would this help you kind of spread that out, or can you then put a more concentrated nitrogen so the separated slurry on that and then take your fibre, your P and K somewhere else?
I suppose you can do that, and that's why today I'm now going to take a sample of the separated material, and I'm also going to take a sample of the water, the slurry really, to see actually what's in it. So we then can do those kind of things. So then we can look at fields with, yep, that needs this or so on and so forth, rather than just going on with a blanket policy.
Well, what about, say you chatted there about carting water, which every farmer really does, because you really are paying me per hour to spread slurry, so the faster you can get me here and get me away, you want it kind of as thin as possible so I can get the output. So if you had a tank sitting there with separated separated slurry in it, rather than you having to cart water, which it end up costing to cart the water here, vice versa having to cart the water back out again in the slurry, now you can just pump this tank into your thicker tanks and spread it over the whole farm.
Well, absolutely. Is that what we did here in our first tank? Today we pumped over to a different tank which sometimes is a bit thick. So we probably pumped 20 or 30,000 gallon maybe over to that. So that will now dilute that tank down. So that'll be easier and it'll be stronger as well. So that will save us. I don't think we'll have to lift any water this year.
Well, what about there? A lot of boys are worrying about, but I'm only got the one tank. Would it scare you? Would it scare you from circulating this tank, or would you say no? You need a tank somewhere else to pump this tank into?
Well, like anything else, it's always going to work better if you have a bit of room in another tank. But what we did here in this first tank this morning is we pumped until that other tank was, it's not full, but it'll hold now with the cattle's on it. And then we just circulated into this tank. And this tank holds about 150,000 gallons. And we reckon she dropped about a foot there. Now, she was still taking stuff out when we stopped, because that gave us enough room. And we're now in the second tank pumping back into the first tank.
Yep.
So we could have left her going all day. Yes, she was pumping more liquid, you could see that.
Yep.
But she was still taking material out. So if you ran into one tank all day, she probably would drop it a few feet, 2 or 3 feet. You know, it's not going to make you store it in over 3 months slurry, but it's definitely going to get you through those maybe 2-3 weeks when you're a wee bit under pressure. And on the other side of it, you're benefiting from it as well. So I don't really see any reason, I don't see any massive disadvantage in doing it.
Do you think the bigger separator is a benefit than these wee ones? You know, we came here this morning, would you need a separator as big as that? Like the benefits I was saying, I thought that the separator was better was John took his cows out from his robots. He has 3 robots here, so the cows were a wee bit disturbed. You mixed the whole tank for the gases, put the pipe in, and we roughly, I know we didn't take it all out, but about 4 hours, 5 hours, we practically were into this tank kind of.
Once I had the tank mixed, then I was able to open the gates, and the cows could get access to the robot. They couldn't get into the rest of the shed,
yep,
but they get about a feet and they could get into the robot. So the effect just hasn't increased or anything.
So really, for us coming for one day, really, has your slurry under control?
I will be under control now, no bother.
If you had a wee separator, I was here for a week.
No, it would be too much hassle, too much.
Exactly.
I didn't get it done.
So tomorrow you'll worry about back to normal
back
again?
to normal tomorrow, and this tank here will be that'll hold everything now. Like that other tank, you can see it dropping already, and that tank is thicker. The slurry, like you can see more coming out of it, and of the dry material.
Yeah, yeah.
There definitely is, and that's probably because we pumped a bit across last week, and we didn't mix it, so that probably was caused that. But no, it's
with them figures of your fibre content and your nitrogen, or your nitrogen and your P and K, you'll have them results. You'll probably be able to structure your whole.
Well, I don't like saying that's what the department wants you to do, because that's what you should be doing. It's not what they want you to do, but there's no point firing on a pile of stuff that you don't need and buying a pile of fertiliser in that you think you need. So the more we can use it, the cells all better, and use it properly.
And
put it where it's needed.
Put it where it's needed. Hopefully save a bit of your pocket too as well.
We grew the maize last year. Last year was a difficult year for everybody in maize. But mind me, I was happy enough with it. We had the right nutrients on it and all the rest of it. But we had a cart slurry, a bit of a distance, and we had to do that kind of thing. I shouldn't have to do that this year. Now that's 6
Because
load
at the
there.
minute you're storing that in the field now.
I say we'll have probably, time we're finished today, 10 loads of that separated stuff. And that's bound to be good material. So that will probably...
Well, you'll have the results.
I'll have the results.
So you'll know exactly.
So that'll probably give me all the nutrients I need on that further away ground for the maize.
And then you'll be fit to structure, right? I need another 2, 3, 4 bags of nitrogen, whatever.
I need whatever nitrogen I need then around it, and I'll probably not need much P and K.
And plus, it's probably a better breakdown. They always say dung is probably the best for the slower release.
Well, it's organic matter as well. I'm a great believer in organic matter. I think if you have an organic matter in the ground, everything will struggle. Organic matter brings worms, in my opinion. Once you have worms, the ground's working, everything works better. Healthy ground grows healthy crops. I'm hammering on vast amounts of slurry. Isn't good for any ground.
Probably because of the ban too. People are full. You want to get as much power under the ground to get the grass to grow, because you need to get a cut early, because everything with this weather, the country and this weather, everything always is.
Well, we cut usually this last number of years in the first week of May, and every 4 to 5 weeks after that.
But then how did you get away with that without the separated slurry? You just
had to add water. Had to add water, and you know, to get that water slurry to get it to soak into the ground straight away. Again, there's a double bar has made that a necessity, whereas before you didn't have the double bar, we had a swivel splash plate, which in my opinion is a better job than any double bar. But that isn't such a problem. But to use a double bar, you have to have watery slurry. But that's no way around it. But we just, if the weather's good, we cut our own silage, work with the wagon. The wagon teaches you don't want wet grass. So,
and then you're chatting to an arm man up the road there, we had a digester, and he was saying his stuff's too powerful, it's too rich.
He was saying it burns the grass a bit, and they were blaming the sort of soil materials on it.
Nearly smothering the grass.
Nearly smothering the grass as well. He was the same opinion.
So he was adding water.
They were adding water to try and dilute it down. They stopped doing that. But there's enough water in this country without adding it on the tanks again and carting it back out again. All it is giving ourselves work.
It'll cost you a fortune.
It'll cost you a fortune. So it is.
But hey, thanks, John.
No water.
John, were you surprised by how much solid you actually had in your slurry?
It is. It's more than you think. That tank there definitely a few more solids on it, but I didn't think there were that much.